Hi everyone, my name is Patty Polinsky and I'm going to be your instructor for this mini lesson. Today we're going to start our sessions on the wonders of water. And our first session is on defining watersheds. So let's get started. Our objective today is to find a watershed and understand why they are so important. What is a watershed? Well, it's an area of land that drains into a common body of water. We all live in a watershed. Even if we live in the desert, we all still live in a watershed. And we're also connected via those watersheds. Look at this picture. It all starts with precipitation. As precipitation falls, it drains into tributaries, rivers, ponds, and then all these are connected and eventually drain into the oceans via the wetlands and estuaries. This yellow line shows the outline of this watershed. Everything that falls, all the rain that falls into this area will drain all the way through and down to the ocean. So let's look at our lakes and ponds. Lakes and ponds provide water for drinking, irrigation, and our industries. They also support recreation and tourism and our local fisheries. They also serve as habitats for thousands of other species. Our streams and rivers, they carry essential water to all parts of our nation, but they also carry pollutants and sediment downstream. Our wetlands and oceans, they support more recreation. Our wetlands also provide a barrier against floods and storm surge. And these also provide habitats for many animals. But the biggest benefit is that our wetlands filter out pollutants before they actually get into the oceans and estuaries. So we're going to take a small break right here that explains watersheds.
Wherever you live on this earth, you live in a watershed. A watershed is a drainage basin, any area of the earth draining into a particular pond, river, or lake. The watershed of this pond, for instance, is the entire area of the earth that drains to the pond. The watershed of the pond and neighboring watersheds combine to form a larger watershed for this creek. The creek may then be part of a watershed of a small lake. It combines with other watersheds to make up the watershed of a larger river. That larger river feeds into an even larger river that has an even larger system of sub-watersheds. And finally, the ever-expanding system of watersheds becomes one huge watershed that empties into the ocean. But why should you care? From farms to small towns to cities, people's lives are connected by falling rain and flowing water, and where it goes. How you care for your land affects how much and how fast water flows to your neighbors downstream, and how clean that water is. And the way your upstream watershed neighbors care for their land affects you in the same way. For instance, if people upstream from you build houses, streets, and parking lots on the land that drains to your stream, you can expect more water to run off and at a faster pace, and your land is more likely to be flooded. Or upstream landowners who don't protect against soil erosion not only lose their soil, they dump sediment, nutrients, and other pollutants that affect everyone downstream. Without proper conservation, there are downstream consequences such as flooding, stream bank erosion, sediment-clogged lakes, and pollutants in drinking water. But those problems can be minimized if each of us does our part to hold the rain in place where it falls. We can help water soak into the soil by planting grasses, tilling the land less, using rain gardens, being careful of how much fertilizer we use, and doing many other things. But we each need to do our part. After all, we are all truly connected in a watershed, and we depend on one another to be a good neighbor.
So what'd you think of that recording? Pretty awesome, huh? So let's summarize really quick. Watersheds start with precipitation. As the rain falls, it is surrounded by a body of land, and that water drains into rivers, lakes, ponds, and all of those eventually drain to the ocean. And we are all connected via a watershed. So why is this all important? Well, water is essential for all life, and everything has to have water. I hope you enjoyed this first mini lesson, and please proceed to the next reading assignments you have on your course. Thanks.